So in section 5.2 and 5.3, we get to know three formulae which are going to be used for questions which really are GCSE questions. If you look at what the exam questions look like, but also what the exercise questions look like, they're things that look like this. So we have diagrams. We're asking to find areas of diagrams and sections on the diagram, or you know, certain things. They're geometrical puzzles that involve circles or arcs of circles. Only now, instead of measuring in degrees, we're going to measure in radians. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what these formulas are and where they come from. And once you know that, it's really GCSE geometry combined with these three new formulas. Now the nice thing is the formulas are a little bit nicer in radians than they were in degrees. Okay, but the three formulas we need are: one is the arc length. The arc length formula. So if I have a sector of a circle like this, here is the arc length, here is the angle in radians, and here is the radius. Well, let's think about this. If the arc length is the same as the radius, then that is an angle of 1 radian. If the arc length is twice as long as the radius, then this is an angle of 2 radians. Okay? So if you just think about the definition of what a radian means, then the arc length is the radius times the angle. Okay? If the angle is 2 radians, then the arc length must be, if the angle is 2 radians, then the arc length must be 2 lots of r. Because if the angle is 1 radian, then the arc length must be the same as r. Okay, so if you work that out, if you sort of think about the way radians work, then that's where this formula comes from. Another way of seeing that formula, if you like, though, is this. We know from GCSE that in degrees, you take the angle divided by 360 times 2 pi r. Okay, that is what fraction of the full turn have we got in this arc length. Well, we're going to do the same thing with radians, but of course in radians, a full turn isn't 360 degrees, so it's what angle of the full turn have we got, so it's theta divided by 2 pi times 2 pi r. The 2 pi's cancel out, and we end up with L equals r theta. So there's our first formula. Either way you want to think about it, comes out to be the same thing. The next thing I need is sector area, which again, we've got the same diagram, L, R and theta. Now, let's do the same trick we've just done. At GCSE, we said the sector area is this fraction of the area of the whole circle, okay? And that angle is measured in degrees, so it's that many degrees out of 360 times pi r squared. If I'm measuring the angle in radians, then again, a full turn is 2 pi radians. So the pi's cancel out, and we end up with theta divided by 2 times r squared, which is normally written as a half r squared theta. The last one that we need is segment area. And just to remind you, a segment is this area here. So there's my theta. This is radius, and I'm going to label this one as a radius as well, because that will help us in a minute. So what is this segment area? Well, that segment area there is going to be the red area there. Take away, so I can find another colour, take away the, oh, that's not very good, is it? But the, what should be there as the orange area. Let me see, have I got a purple pen here? Is it going to work? So the red area, no, I don't think we're going to win on that one, never mind. So you get the idea. It's the red area, take away this triangle, okay? And that will give us the black area. So the red area is the sector area. So the area in red is 1/2 r squared theta. The area of this triangle, we can use the formula 1/2 AB sine C. So in this case, the A and the B are both the same length, they're both r. So AB is r squared. Sine C, well, C is the same as this angle theta, 1/2 r squared sine theta. So the area we're looking for is this, and if we factor out 1/2 r squared, we get this formula here. Now I'm not going to do any of those examples because we've got 3 new formulas. None of them are particularly nasty formulas. We use them all to solve GCSE style geometry questions. Now, I'm not saying that to say that they're necessarily easy questions, but what I'm saying is there isn't any new information that you need. You just need to fiddle around with the information that you've got from GCSE plus those 3 new formulas. Okay, so somewhere in those exercises you may well get stuck, but that is a useful learning process. That's all the new information, those 3 formulas. Okay, that's the end of section 5.2 and 5.3.